Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick look at LMT Launcher today because I've been getting a lot of questions about my navigation bar setup and how I'm using Pi, and that's what I use for Pi. Now I know GravityBox has it included, but I prefer the LMT Pi because one, it's more customizable, and two, it just has that cool little animation you can see there. So LMT Launcher isn't actually a launcher like Nova or Apex or the Google Launcher. It's not going to replace any of those. It just kind of sits on top. It does have a lot of features, but in this video, all I'm going to talk about is Pi. So it's not available in the Play Store, but it is available in the XDA forums. I'll include a link in the description. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about my setup before we actually get into this. And I'm running this stock Google ROM, but it doesn't matter what ROM you're running, this should work. I'm running the Elemental X custom kernel, but again, that doesn't matter. You can use this on the stock Google kernel. I have got root, and root is something that LMT Launcher requires. So make sure you have root. You're probably wondering how I got rid of the navigation bar, and that's by using the exposed module GravityBox. If I just show you this here, there's a few ways you can do this. I know some other people that do it some different ways, but I just go into the display tweaks and change the expanded desktop mode to hide navigation bar, and that's how I get rid of it. Okay, so let's actually get into the application here, and this is a screen you're going to see when you open up LMT Launcher. You've got settings, info, gestures, ISAS, which stands for the Invisible Swipe Area Service, and Pi. Now I'm not going to talk about gestures and ISAS because otherwise the video will drag on too long. I don't actually use those, I only use Pi, and that's what I got the most questions on. So yeah, if we go to settings here, you've got activate service, which obviously needs to be on, and you've got the auto start service, which of course I have on because I want it to start up when I start my device, otherwise I can't control it because I don't have a navigation bar. So we're going to skip gestures, we're going to skip the ISAS, and we're going to start with Pi. Now the first option we have here is the activation area position. That's pretty self-explanatory. This is where Pi is actually going to pop up. So I've got this set to right and bottom, but there's loads of other choices. It's just your preference. So I can activate it from the bottom here, or I can activate it from the right. And the area thickness by default is set to 30, but I was sometimes hitting it when I didn't want to, when I just wanted to swipe, so I changed that down to 15. And I also changed the area length from 600 to 400. Again, that just helps me not hit it by accident when, you know, I'm swiping or things like that. The area of gravity I've got set to the center. I don't have anything in the blacklist for Pi. Next up, we've got Pi style, and it starts off with the colors. A lot of people have been asking me about the colors, so if you want my exact colors, copy this exactly as it is there. Pause the video and write this down in this box, and you'll have the exact same colors that I do. There's loads of things you can change here: icon color, outline color, gradient color. I don't change anything except shift and normal, but again, if you just copy those two, you'll get both of those colors exactly how I do. Now the inner radius by default is 60. I've got that set to 75 because I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, but you can see if I just put this to like 200, you'll see exactly what the effect is. That's what it does. So it kind of changes that radius there. Put that back on to 75. And the outer radius I've got set to 80. Again, if I change this to 200, you'll see what it is. Oops. That's what it does. So that's just the default. I had that set to default, but again, you can customize that exactly to how you like. What else do we have here? The Pi shift size I didn't change. That's the default value. The Pi outline size is the default value. The long press time by default is 2000, but I actually changed that to 1500 just so when I long press something, it happens that little bit faster. Animation time is 80 by default, but I've actually changed that to 60. Now, that actually doesn't matter for me anymore because I actually turned off the main animation. I'll show you what that is in a minute, but you might choose to leave that on so you can mess around with the animation time there. That's pretty much all the settings I changed. I didn't do anything with the Pi icons. Of course, again, that's up to you. You can rotate the actual the navigation icons themselves. You'll see them, they're normal there. If I use them over here, they rotate to be the right way around, whereas if you don't, they don't rotate. I actually prefer it off. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, I just do. And right at the bottom we have Pi extensions. I don't have show pointer on. Nothing else I change in here except I turned off the show status infos. That's disabled. By default, I think it's on along Pi. So if you see now when I hold it, this little animation happens. You get the time, you get some notifications, the cores that are active, the memory that's used. I don't actually like that being on, so I just end up turning that off, and you can see now it only uses Pi. So Again, that's up to you, but that's how I have it. Now, if we swipe all the way over to the Pi tab here, you've got some options to change the actual functions of the buttons. And you can see level 1 for Pi. So I've got this set to long press on the, I think it's the recents key. So see if I long press this, it will change into that screen record. You can pick any application you want for that, or you can change some other buttons, or you can even add some. So you can see here, Pi item 4, you can add any one of these. Loads of different things you can add. You can even add an app or toggle Wi-Fi. You can see if I turn that on, I now have an option that toggles Wi-Fi straight there, but I prefer it just the simple three options, so we'll just put that back to none. You've also got a level 2 for Pi, and you can see here, I'm only going to change one item. I don't actually have anything here, but let's say, I don't know, I choose back long press or something. You can see that we now have a second level to Pi, and it's just one massive button for long pressing the back. Now, obviously you can have more. For example, if we choose, let's pick another one, and it will kind of divide that up. So if we have home, you can see it now divides it up into 2. You can have different applications there. You could have a whole row of your favorite applications if that's something you wanted to do. Again, I don't have that. I'm just a bit simple like that. I just like the 3 buttons, but that's completely up to you. And yeah, that's it. That's my setup for Pi, guys. I know a lot of you have been asking about that, so I hope that answers a lot of questions, guys. Yeah, peace out.